Listen closely. The Sun enters Virgo today, marking one of the most significant energetic shifts of the entire year. This cosmic transition brings with it a profound transformation in how you perceive reality, process information, and navigate the intricate details of your daily existence. For the next 4 weeks, you possess an extraordinary ability to see what has remained hidden in plain sight, to detect patterns that were previously invisible, and to access a level of mental precision that can fundamentally alter the trajectory of your life. The cosmic landscape has just undergone a complete metamorphosis, where Leo season bathed us in golden light, encouraging bold self-expression and theatrical displays of creativity. Virgo season introduces an entirely different frequency of consciousness. The expansive, heart-centered energy that dominated the past month dissolves, replaced by something far more surgical and methodical. This is not merely a seasonal adjustment. It represents a fundamental recalibration of how your mind processes the world around you. The Sun's entry into Virgo activates what can only be described as a cosmic microscope, a tool of perception so refined that it reveals layers of reality that were completely inaccessible just days ago. The broad brushstrokes of Leo give way to the fine-tipped precision instrument of Virgo, where once you might have painted your life in vibrant, sweeping gestures, you now possess the ability to work with the delicate precision of a master craftsperson, attending to each minute detail with unwavering focus and intention. This energetic shift manifests as a complete rewiring of your cognitive operating system. The emotional drama and grand narratives that may have captivated your attention during Leo season begin to feel less compelling, even irritating. In their place emerges a hunger for accuracy, efficiency, and practical solutions. Your consciousness naturally gravitates toward questions of functionality rather than spectacle. The romantic idealism that Leo energy often promotes transforms into a more grounded, realistic assessment of what actually works in the material world. The Virgo influence brings with it an almost uncomfortable level of mental clarity. This clarity cuts through illusions, fantasies, and wishful thinking like a laser through fog. You may find yourself suddenly seeing situations, relationships, and personal patterns with startling objectivity. The rose-colored glasses come off, and what you see might initially feel harsh or overwhelming. This is not a punishment or a cosmic cruel joke. It is an invitation to engage with reality as it truly is, rather than as you wish it were or fear it might be. Your perceptual apparatus undergoes what can best be described as a high-definition upgrade. If Leo season was like viewing your life through a warm, golden filter that emphasized beauty and possibility, Virgo season is like switching to ultra-high-definition clarity, where every flaw, every inefficiency, every small imperfection becomes magnified and impossible to ignore. This enhanced perception extends to every area of your existence, from the physical environment around you to the subtle dynamics in your relationships, from your work processes to your health habits. You might suddenly notice that the filing system you've been using for months is actually creating more confusion than organization. A conversation partner's slight hesitation before answering a question becomes glaringly obvious, revealing layers of meaning you would have missed entirely just a week ago. The morning routine that felt adequate before now reveals itself as a series of inefficiencies that drain your energy before the day even begins. These observations are not signs of increased criticism or negativity. They represent the activation of your enhanced analytical capabilities. This cosmic microscope comes with a profound responsibility. You now have access to information that was previously hidden, patterns that were previously invisible, and solutions that were previously unimaginable. The question becomes whether you will use this gift constructively or allow it to overwhelm you with its intensity. The same energy that can help you optimize your life systems and create lasting positive change can also spiral into paralyzing perfectionism and self-criticism if not properly channeled. The transition from Leo to Virgo energy often creates what astrologers call cognitive dissonance. Your emotional body may still be craving the warmth and celebration of Leo season, while your mental body is already operating in Virgo's more analytical mode. This can create temporary confusion or resistance as different parts of your psyche adjust to the new energetic frequency. Understanding this transition period is crucial for navigating the early days of Virgo season with grace and effectiveness. I want to pause here and connect with your personal experience of this cosmic shift. In the comments below, share your sun's sign and tell me how you're feeling this Virgo energy showing up in your life right now. Are you noticing increased attention to details? Feeling more organized or perhaps overwhelmed by imperfections you suddenly see everywhere? Your personal experience of this astrological transit helps build our understanding of how these cosmic energies manifest in real life. The enhanced perception that Virgo season provides operates on multiple levels simultaneously. On the most basic level, your physical senses become more acute. You notice dust on surfaces that seemed clean before, hear subtle sounds in your environment that previously blended into background noise, and detect flavors and textures in food with greater precision. This sensory enhancement extends to your social environment as well. Micro-expressions, vocal tonalities, and body language patterns become more obvious and meaningful. Your analytical mind also receives a significant upgrade during this period. Complex problems that seemed overwhelming or unsolvable begin to reveal their component parts. You develop an almost instinctive ability to break down complicated situations into manageable pieces, identifying which elements are essential and which are merely distracting noise. This analytical enhancement proves invaluable in professional settings, personal relationships, and self-improvement efforts. The Virgo influence brings with it a natural intolerance for chaos and inefficiency. Systems that were merely annoying during other astrological seasons become absolutely intolerable under Virgo's penetrating gaze. This intolerance is not a character flaw or a sign of increasing rigidity. It represents your soul's natural desire for harmony, efficiency, and optimal functioning. The discomfort you feel when confronted with disorder serves as a guidance system, pointing you toward areas of your life that require attention and refinement. This heightened sensitivity to chaos manifests in various ways depending on your personal circumstances and life situation. In your physical environment, clutter and disorganization that you previously tolerated or ignored suddenly demand immediate attention. The pile of papers on your desk transforms from a minor inconvenience into a source of genuine stress. The overflowing closet or disorganized kitchen becomes a constant drain on your mental energy, creating background anxiety that affects your overall well-being. In your professional life, inefficient processes and systems become glaringly obvious sources of frustration. Meetings without clear agendas, projects without defined timelines, and workflows that create unnecessary complications all become targets for your newly enhanced analytical attention. This can be incredibly valuable for improving your work environment and career prospects, provided you channel this awareness constructively rather than allowing it to create conflict with colleagues or supervisors. Your relationships also come under Virgo's analytical microscope during this period. Communication patterns that seemed acceptable or even charming during other seasons may suddenly feel inefficient or frustrating. Partners, friends, or family members who consistently arrive late, fail to follow through on commitments, or create unnecessary drama in their interactions may find themselves on the receiving end of your increased intolerance for dysfunction. This relationship analysis can be tremendously beneficial for creating healthier, more functional connections with others. However, it requires careful navigation to avoid becoming overly critical or demanding. The key lies in using your enhanced perception to understand patterns and dynamics more clearly, rather than using it as ammunition for judgment or criticism. The emotional landscape during Virgo season undergoes a profound transformation that many people initially experience as unsettling or cold. The passionate, heart-centered approach to life that characterizes fire sign seasons gives way to a more measured, analytical emotional processing style. This shift can feel like emotional detachment or numbness, but it actually represents a sophisticated upgrade in emotional intelligence and regulation. Under Virgo's influence, you develop the ability to observe your emotions with scientific precision, rather than being completely overwhelmed by their intensity. When anxiety arises, instead of spiraling into catastrophic thinking, you find yourself naturally asking analytical questions. What specific trigger initiated this emotional response? What thoughts or beliefs are amplifying the feeling? What practical steps can be taken to address the underlying concern? This analytical approach to emotions proves invaluable for breaking cycles of reactive behavior that may have dominated your responses during more emotionally intense astrological periods. Rather than being swept away by feelings, you develop the capacity to work with emotions as information, using them to understand your needs, boundaries, and priorities more clearly. The Virgo season presents you with a crucial choice point that will determine whether this period becomes one of profound growth and improvement or overwhelming anxiety and self-criticism. This choice exists not in a single moment, but in countless small decisions throughout each day about how you interpret and respond to the enhanced awareness that Virgo energy provides. The path of resistance leads to what can only be described as analytical paralysis. When you resist Virgo's invitation to engage with details and improvement, the enhanced perception becomes a source of torment rather than empowerment. Every flaw becomes evidence of personal failure, every imperfection becomes a reason for self-attack, and every inefficiency becomes proof of inadequacy. The mind becomes trapped in endless loops of criticism and comparison, generating anxiety without producing any constructive change. This resistance often stems from attempting to maintain Leo season's expansive, big-picture focus, when the cosmic energy has shifted toward precision and refinement. It's like trying to use a microscope as a telescope. The tool becomes frustrating and seemingly broken when applied incorrectly. The result is overwhelm, as your consciousness tries to process detailed information through a framework designed for broad, sweeping perspectives. The alternative path involves embracing Virgo's gifts with conscious intention and strategic application. This path transforms the enhanced perception into a powerful tool for life optimization and personal development. Instead of being overwhelmed by all the imperfections you suddenly notice, you develop the ability to prioritize and systematically address the most important areas for improvement. The conscious application of Virgo energy begins with accepting that perfection is not the goal, precision is. Perfection implies a static end state where nothing can be improved, while precision involves the ongoing refinement of systems, processes, and approaches. This distinction is crucial because the pursuit of perfection leads to paralysis, while the pursuit of precision leads to continuous improvement and growth. Precision thinking involves developing the ability to identify leverage points, those specific areas where small changes produce disproportionately large results. Rather than trying to fix everything at once, you learn to recognize which single adjustment will create the most significant positive impact across multiple areas of your life. This might mean organizing one specific area of your living space that affects your daily routine. Implementing one small change to your morning ritual that improves your entire day, or having one crucial conversation that clarifies an important relationship dynamic. The practice of precision thinking requires developing what can be called diagnostic awareness, the ability to look at a complex situation and identify the root cause rather than just addressing surface symptoms. This skill proves invaluable in every area of life, from health and relationships to career and personal development. Instead of repeatedly treating the same problems, you develop the capacity to understand and address the underlying patterns that create those problems. Virgo season provides an ideal opportunity to develop systematic approaches to personal improvement, rather than relying on willpower or motivation, which tend to fluctuate unpredictably. You can create systems and processes that support your goals regardless of your emotional state or energy level. This might involve designing environmental cues that make positive behaviors easier, creating accountability structures that support consistency, or developing decision-making frameworks that help you choose actions aligned with your long-term objectives. The systematic approach to improvement recognizes that sustainable change happens through the accumulation of small, consistent actions rather than dramatic transformations. This understanding can be initially frustrating for those accustomed to Leo season's dramatic flair, but it ultimately proves far more effective for creating lasting positive change. The excitement comes not from grand gestures, but from the quiet satisfaction of steady progress and increasing competence. Your analytical capabilities during Virgo season can be systematically developed through specific mental practices and exercises. These practices help you harness the cosmic energy more effectively, while avoiding the pitfalls of perfectionism and overwhelm that can derail your progress. The first level of analytical development involves learning to separate factual observation from interpretive storytelling. Your mind naturally creates narratives to explain events and experiences, but these narratives often contain assumptions, projections, and emotional interpretations that obscure rather than illuminate the actual situation. Training yourself to distinguish between what you actually observe and the stories you tell about those observations creates a foundation of clarity that supports better decision-making. This practice involves regularly asking yourself what you know for certain versus what you are assuming or interpreting. When facing a challenging situation, you learn to strip away the emotional drama and focus on verifiable facts. This doesn't mean ignoring emotions or intuition, but rather ensuring that your responses are based on accurate information rather than fear-based projections or wishful thinking. The second level involves developing root cause analysis capabilities, the ability to trace surface problems back to their underlying systemic causes. This skill prevents you from wasting energy on repetitive problem solving and helps you address issues at their source. Instead of repeatedly dealing with the same conflicts, inefficiencies, or obstacles, you learn to identify and modify the patterns that generate these recurring challenges. Root cause analysis requires patience and persistence, as the most obvious explanations for problems are often incomplete or misleading. The practice involves asking successive layers of why questions, peeling back surface explanations to reveal deeper patterns and dynamics. This process often reveals that seemingly separate problems actually stem from common underlying causes, allowing you to address multiple issues through targeted interventions. The third level focuses on developing strategic action capabilities, the ability to identify and execute the most effective interventions for creating positive change. This involves learning to recognize leverage points where small actions produce large results, understanding how to sequence changes for maximum effectiveness, and developing the discipline to focus on high-impact activities rather than busy work. Strategic action requires overcoming the perfectionist tendency to delay action until you have complete information or the perfect plan. Instead, you learn to take intelligent action based on available information, treating each action as an experiment that provides additional data for refining your approach. This experimental mindset allows for continuous learning and adjustment while maintaining forward momentum. The enhanced awareness that Virgo season provides extends beyond personal improvement to include a deeper understanding of the systems and structures that shape your daily experience. You begin to see how seemingly separate areas of your life are actually interconnected, how changes in one domain ripple out to affect other areas, and how optimizing these connections can dramatically improve your overall life satisfaction and effectiveness. This systems thinking approach proves particularly valuable for addressing complex challenges that resist simple solutions. Rather than trying to force change through willpower or dramatic interventions, you learn to identify the minimal adjustments that will shift entire systems toward more desirable outcomes. This might involve changing your physical environment to support better habits, adjusting your schedule to align with your natural energy rhythms, or modifying your social connections to reinforce positive behaviors. The Virgo influence also enhances your ability to recognize and work with natural cycles and rhythms rather than fighting against them. You become more attuned to the optimal timing for different types of activities, the conditions that support your best performance, and the warning signs that indicate when rest or adjustment is needed. This attunement allows you to work more efficiently and sustainably, achieving better results with less effort and stress. As Virgo season progresses, you may notice that your relationship with time itself begins to shift. The urgency and impatience that can characterize other astrological periods gives way to a more measured, methodical approach to progress. You develop greater appreciation for the value of consistency over intensity, recognizing that small daily improvements compound over time to create significant transformations. This temporal perspective helps you maintain motivation during periods when progress feels slow or invisible. Rather than becoming discouraged by the gradual pace of systematic improvement, you learn to trust the process and find satisfaction in the quality of your efforts, rather than demanding immediate dramatic results. This patience proves essential for sustaining long-term positive changes and avoiding the boom-bust cycles that characterize less systematic approaches to personal development. The cosmic microscope that Virgo season provides also illuminates the subtle ways that your environment influences your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. You become more aware of how physical spaces, social contexts, and informational inputs shape your experience and performance. This awareness allows you to consciously design your environment to support your goals and values, rather than leaving these influences to chance. Environmental design during Virgo season might involve organizing your physical space to reduce decision fatigue and support positive routines, curating your information diet to include more useful and less distracting content, or adjusting your social connections to spend more time with people who inspire and challenge you constructively. These environmental modifications often produce more sustainable results than trying to change behaviors through willpower alone. The analytical clarity of Virgo season also extends to your understanding of your own patterns and tendencies. You develop greater insight into your personal rhythms, triggers, strengths, and areas for development. This self-knowledge allows you to work with your natural tendencies rather than against them, designing approaches to goals and challenges that align with your authentic nature rather than fighting your inherent characteristics. This period offers an exceptional opportunity to conduct what might be called a life systems audit, a comprehensive review of how well your current approaches are serving your stated goals and values. This audit involves examining your routines, relationships, work processes, health practices, and personal development strategies with fresh eyes, identifying areas where small adjustments could yield significant improvements. The life systems audit should be approached with curiosity and compassion rather than judgment and criticism. The goal is not to identify everything wrong with your current approach, but to recognize opportunities for optimization and refinement. This perspective maintains motivation and forward momentum while avoiding the self-attack that can derail improvement efforts. As we approach the new moon in Virgo, the analytical work you do during this period creates a foundation for highly targeted and effective manifestation work. Rather than making vague requests for improvement or hoping for dramatic external changes, you will have identified specific, actionable steps that align with natural principles and your authentic goals. This precision dramatically increases the likelihood that your manifestation efforts will produce tangible, lasting results. The combination of enhanced analytical capabilities, systematic thinking, and environmental awareness creates a powerful toolkit for navigating not just Virgo season, but the remainder of the astrological year. The skills you develop during this period, the systems you create, and the clarity you achieve will continue to serve you long after the sun moves into Libra. This cosmic gift of enhanced perception and analytical precision represents one of the most valuable opportunities of the entire astrological year for creating lasting positive change in your life. The key lies in embracing the energy with conscious intention, using it as a tool for improvement rather than a weapon for self-criticism, and maintaining focus on progress rather than perfection. The clarity you develop during this period becomes a permanent upgrade to your consciousness, a new baseline of awareness that will inform your decisions and actions throughout the coming months. This is your invitation to step into a new level of precision, intentionality, and effectiveness in creating the life you truly desire.